Stop, just for 1 second. Breathe. Are you already feeling it, my child? That familiar year-end panic? The shopping lists are getting longer, the parties are stacking up, the cleaning, the rushing, the endless things to do. You do this every single year. You run right past the stroke of midnight, and you collapse into the new year, breathless, exhausted, and feeling empty. You survive the celebration, but you don't feel the transition. But what if you've been doing it all wrong? What if there was a different way? A way to stand on this threshold and feel not drained, but powerful, not scattered, but peaceful, not foggy, but truly clear? What if the real preparation for the new year isn't about what you buy or what you clean? Tonight, I want to share a secret with you, a truly profound way to begin. It's not about doing more. It's about 3 hidden connections, 3 profound anchors that you've forgotten, and they have the power to change everything. The first practice, that is to connect with oneself, with the sacred temple within you. The second practice, that is to connect with loved ones, the gifts that I have given you in this life. And the third practice, that is to connect with the great source, with your ancestors, and with me, your God, the source of all life. And the first practice, my child, is to connect with yourself, to return to the temple of the self. You need to have a very special, very private time just for yourself. This is not selfishness. This is a necessity. Like my son, Jesus, after days of teaching, he would often withdraw to a quiet place to pray alone. You too must do the same. What can you do? You can sit down in quiet contemplation in a favorite corner of your room. You can treat yourself to a warm cup of tea, a hot cocoa, or simply a glass of pure water. Choose a place that is truly still and do one courageous thing. Turn off your phone, turn off the TV, turn off the computer screen temporarily. Pause the conversations. Temporarily pause the projects, the plans, the worries about the future, the regrets about the past. Let all of those things remain outside the door. And this is the moment to truly return to yourself. Close your eyes and say to your own heart, I am home. I am home. I am no longer wandering aimlessly outside, here and there. I am no longer chasing after success, after fame. I no longer let my mind be swept away by the news feeds, the notifications on social media. I no longer let my heart worry about all the troubles of the world. You have been under pressure all year long. You have been stressed, been weary, been straining all year long. These are the moments when you have the right to rest. Not just to rest, but to rest completely. Not just completely, but to rest with reverence. You can sit peacefully in that quiet space. If you can, light a candle, the flickering warm light, or you can sit before your altar, before a crucifix. What for? To remind yourself of an important truth that you often forget. Inside of you, there is also a temple most sacred. Do you remember? My servant Paul said, do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from me? This body, this soul is a temple. But this past year, how have you treated this temple? You can say that for a whole year, you have left this temple to make a living, to solve one problem after another, to prove yourself, to express yourself, to help others, to love others. But you have neglected this very temple. You have let it gather dust. You have let it grow cold. You have lived more as your worldly self, with your weaknesses, your angers, your worries, your ambitions, than as the sacred being within. Rarely, so rarely, do you have the chance to sit quietly like this. Some people must wait until the last days of the year. Some people don't even have that. You have almost lost the habit of connecting with yourself. You are always dependent on someone outside or something outside. You depend on the validation of others. You depend on the sound of the TV, of the phone, because you are afraid of silence. You have not yet believed that when you courageously stop all outside connections, you can connect. with the great profundity within. There, your inner strength and grace are born. There, true peace resides. You don't need to do anything monumental, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes. Join me. Let's try it right now. You can sit still, on the floor, or on a chair is fine, as long as you are comfortable. Close your eyes. Let your shoulders relax. Relax the muscles in your face. Relax your hands resting on your lap. And now, pay attention to your breath, the breath that I have given you. Breathe in deeply. Feel the fresh air enter. Breathe out slowly. Feel all the tension leave. Breathe in. I know I am breathing in. Breathe out. I know I am breathing out. Listen to your breath very clearly. Feel your chest rising and falling. Feel that you are truly here. With this body, with this self, you are not going anywhere. You are not drifting to the past, not racing to the future. You are here. And when you are here, the temple door is opened. A quiet, sacred space opens up within you. Of course, 3 breaths may not be enough. Your mind might start to wander. What do I have to do later? Why did that person say that to me? That's okay. When you notice you are thinking, just smile at the thought and gently bring your mind back to your breath. Once again, breathe in, I am present. Breathe out, I am calm. You know, my child, you don't have to wait until you die to go to heaven. Heaven, or the kingdom of God, as my son said, is right here within you. It is right here in this moment when you are completely still. You can also treat yourself to a cup of tea. Hold the cup with both hands. Feel its warmth seep into your palms. On a cold winter day, a cup of tea is so warm. Then slowly bring it to your nose. Inhale the fragrance of the tea deeply. Then take a sip. Drink in full awareness. Feel the warm liquid entering your body and feel it clearly. I am here. I am not going anywhere. I am here for myself. No power, no worry has the strength to pull me away in this moment. In this moment, I want to dwell in my temple. I want to light up my temple. You know, inside this temple is my presence. When you sit quietly like this, with all sincerity, with your own ritual, perhaps a clean shirt, a candle, a stick of incense, you can feel the graces I bestow. That is the grace of peace, the grace of stillness, the grace of clarity, the grace of freedom, the grace of happiness. These graces, like angels, are always there. But for so long, you have forgotten, you have neglected, you have not returned to meet them. The temple has been abandoned. Therefore, you must be sincere. Enough. Patient enough. Be there with all humility, and then the light will appear. When the temple within is lit, when you are aware of my presence, then I ask you, my child, is there any force of darkness, any sorrow, anxiety, or depression that would dare to come and invade? Depression finds it hard to enter because it must enter this temple, and this temple is being guarded very well by the guardian of stillness, by the guardian of peace, by the guardian of freedom. Most of us know so often you are outwardly focused, chasing after things, worrying, thinking endlessly. Then you get stuck in objects of desire or in unsatisfying conditions. Those are the openings. Those are the broken doors that let the darkness within spill out. Then you identify with that darkness. Gradually, it becomes a habit. Then it becomes your personality. You think you are that person full of anger. You think you are that person full of rebellion. You think you are that person full of suffering. But that's not true. That is not your true nature. You are something so much vaster. You are my image. Just try sitting down. Sit quietly, close your eyes, or you can open them and gaze at a candle or into the darkness and try to keep your mind on your body. Relax, relax every muscle in your face. Relax your lips. Relax your shoulders, which have carried so much, or pay attention to the breath in and the breath out. And a small prayer rises from your heart. Lord, I thank you for allowing me to still be here, whole and healthy. After so many storms in my life, so many ups and downs, so many long falls, and yet heaven and earth still love me. You still love me, allowing me to be present today, to enjoy this cup of tea, to breathe these breaths of peace, to look back at myself with stability and comfort. My child, this is a very great happiness. And I hear this prayer. I welcome your presence within me. I know that when I am able to sit down, to relax, when I am able to return and connect deeply with my breath, to find myself is to find you, to meet the great guardian that you have given to every living soul, especially to us humans. And yet, Lord, many times my faith is still not strong enough. That is why I have not frequently returned to care for this temple, to worship you properly. I have not trusted deeply in you. I still rush out alone, charging onto the battlefield, into relationships, into work, and you have fallen, you have failed, you have suffered. You have blamed heaven and earth, you have resented the world and the people in it, but you didn't know that it was because you were weak. It was because you lacked inner strength. It was because you did not know how to carry my strength, how to carry my graces with you on that difficult journey. If only, my child, you could return like this in every moment. Even when you are working, when you are solving difficult problems, when you are interacting with people, that you could still keep that thread of connection to your temple, to my presence, or at least once a day, every evening or every early morning, that you could have your own sacred time, just half an hour or more, to return to care for the temple, to illuminate its graces. Then believe me, your life, the quality of your life, will be greatly improved. And peace, happiness, and life are real. They are things you can touch many times a day. That is the first practice, returning to the temple of yourself. The second practice, that is to connect with loved ones, the people who live around you. Honestly, because you have not done the first practice well, because you abandoned it, you didn't value it, you weren't diligent in practicing the return to the temple. Therefore, you also failed at the second practice. There are times in life when you feel truly bothered by the relationships around you. Sometimes you feel they are necessary, sometimes you feel they are not. Sometimes you see the benefit, sometimes you see a great disadvantage, an obstacle to your personal life. You used to think, perhaps you have thought this too, that you can make your own living, you can design your own life the way you want. You have many experiences, you have knowledge, you have money, so you don't need anyone. Not even the relatives in your family, not even your parents, your siblings, your spouse, your children, but thank heavens, thank me. In this moment, in this stillness, you suddenly realize you cannot live without them. I did not create you to live without them. I created you to live in community, in love. I created people in pairs, in families. I said, it is not good for man to be alone. Just think about it. Imagine waking up tomorrow and there is not a single loved one left on this earth, or that person, the person with whom you have a conflict, the person you are angry with, you resent, you don't want to see. If tomorrow they left this world, they were gone from you forever, how would you feel? Of course, you could still live, but you would live as a person with a crippled soul, living with a soul so lonely, so lost, so terribly empty. And when you look deeply, you see that all your efforts, all your striving, all the hard work in your careers, in your jobs, what is it all for? It is also to make your loved ones trust you more, love you more, so they can see your value, see that you are truly worthy. And yet, because of your livelihood, because of countless reasons, because your ego is too big, you have missed so many opportunities to connect deeply with your loved ones. You have prioritized work, prioritized clients, prioritized friends, prioritized what you enjoy, the fun outside. You are only ready to connect with them when you feel stable, feel well, or when you want to. You are that selfish, and when you are not well, not stable, not in the mood, you to avoid them. You abandon them. You don't care what they think. And every time you sit down together at a family meal or to discuss some business, you pay no attention to their feelings. You don't observe what they are thinking, what difficulties they are having. Why are they so sad? Why are they so stressed, so irritable? No, you don't care. You are only busy defending yourself, protecting yourself. You are only busy speaking your own thoughts, your own difficulties. You only know how to make demands or to react with irritation. Do you see yourself in that, my child? I see it. Why is that? It is because you are weak. You have a problem. Your temple is cold, and you haven't realized it. Truly, you have lacked stillness, lacked deep looking. You are living very superficially. You are identifying with the mind of grasping, the mind of resisting. You keep asking, what is the meaning of life? What is the point of living? Meanwhile, life is always right there, wondrous. Things are always right there. Your loved ones are also always right there. Even though they have their moments, their ups and downs, sometimes lovable, sometimes not. Even though in the past, they may have unintentionally or even intentionally hurt you in some way, but they are still your loved ones, your benefactors in life, the people into whose lives you have sunk your roots and you cannot pull them out. And you know, this life is a web of interconnection, like a body, as my servant Paul said. You are all different parts of the same body. The more you try to tear yourself away, the more lost, lonely, and easily crushed by the storms of life you become. In these final days of the year, in these sacred hours, suddenly you feel a very special urge pulling you back to your grandparents, your parents, your loved ones. In this moment, I want you to let go of anger. I want you to let go of resentment, of all the right and wrongs. I just want you to bring good things to each other. As my son taught, love one another as I have loved you. And so I want you to invite your loved ones, and you, please try to invite your loved ones to sit down together at the tea table or the dinner table, each person with a cup of tea, a glass of water. Perhaps you just look at each other. Perhaps you offer each other a cup of tea, a piece of cake, and just sit there peacefully. No need to say anything, just enjoying the moment of being fully present for each other is enough. That presence, it is more precious than 1,000 words. Perhaps you look at each other and smile, or you can talk, but only talk about what is happening in the present moment. His tea is so fragrant. His flower is beautiful. It's so peaceful sitting here today. Or a little more, ask about health, about spiritual life. Have you been sleeping well, Mom? Is work very stressful for you? Are you worried about anything, my dear? But you must always remember, the act of sitting down together, the act of creating connection is the most important thing. The act of maintaining a stable, peaceful energy for each other is the most important thing. The act of holding a smile, holding the awareness that I am happy because you are here is the most important thing. The stories, the problems brought up in this moment, they are secondary, not too important. Don't get swept away by the story. Don't fall into the old habit of judging right and wrong. Why did you do that? Why did you say that? Don't, because it will trigger each other's sorrows. It will trigger each other's wounds. Today, I want you to offer your loved ones your own wondrous presence, the presence that you have illuminated from the first practice. It is a complete presence. It is a loving presence, a presence that knows how to listen, that knows how to open its heart, that knows how to respect the presence of the other, knowing how to listen, even to the things they do not say. Just say beautiful things, my child. Let's just say loving things, shall we? Let's just offer praise. Let's just lift each other up, shall we? Of course, there are times you need to talk about difficulties, need to solve problems, need to shine a light on each other's weaknesses. But Let's not do that all the time, especially in these sacred, special moments. Build a family atmosphere during these holidays that is truly beautiful, truly warm, harmonious, full of laughter, full of positive energy. It can start with one person, with you. One person who is conscious of this, and that peaceful energy, it will spread to the others. Or you can remind each other, Mom, Dad, my brothers and sisters, during these holidays as a new tradition for our family, let's be very mindful of ourselves. Mindful of our every word, our every action. We will not to make each other upset, not to hurt each other for any reason. Of course, if this practice could be extended throughout the year, how precious that would be. But at least you choose these special days of the year, especially at this moment. You are determined to speak only words that build faith and love for each other. You are determined to act only in ways that bring good things to each other. This is a priceless gift, more precious than any material thing, any money, or any honor. Because in the end, the one thing you need from each other is love. It is the awareness of each other's wondrous value. No matter how many years you live, who you become, what you achieve, you never feel full, never feel complete until you reconnect with that deep love. Open your hearts to embrace, to love one another, to connect deeply. You realize that whatever happens to the other also happens to you. Their joy is your joy. Their pain is also your pain. And so each person knows to take care of themselves is also to take care of each other. At that time, you feel so full, so complete. Sometimes just sitting together for a few minutes in silence. No need to say a word, just holding hands. That is also wonderful. Even sitting with eyes closed for a little while, so each person can return to their own temple to nourish their own energy before speaking again, before discussing things again. That is also a wonderful way, because you only want one thing. Every time you speak, every time you act, you bring peaceful energy to your loved ones. They deserve that, and you also deserve that. Now, you prepare to move to the third practice, connecting with the source. You can also sit and connect right at the tea table, or you can go and kneel before a statue of the Lord, before the crucifix, or you can stand in loving remembrance of your ancestors. A tree has its roots, water has its source. When you, the descendant, return to connect with your source, then you will be nourished. You have two great sources that you must connect with. First is your bloodline ancestors, your grandparents, parents, great-grandparents, and the generations before them. The people who gave you this form, this blood, this life, the people who paved the way for you, whether you know their faces or not, they are flowing in you. Second is the great spiritual source. That is me, your Creator. That is my Son, Jesus Christ, who came to show you the path back to me. That is Mother Mary and the saints. That is the spiritual masters, the ancestors of faith who have gone before. You are the children, the descendants. You are the fruit. In the process of expressing yourself, your ego, in the process of wanting to claim sovereignty over your own life, you have imagined that you are a single entity, separate, disconnected. Perhaps you can form a habit. When you sit down to drink tea alone, always hold a space in your heart, a silent offering reserved for your ancestors, including both your spiritual ancestors and your bloodline ancestors. Because you must be aware that you are here, that you can sit there in peace, that you can speak from your own. It is also thanks to the sacrifices of those who came before, who paved the way, who passed down to you countless values, faith, and love. And even now, when you are doing healing work, when you are working, there are times when you are exhausted, you want to give up, or simply, you are just too tired. In those moments, you suddenly realize, perhaps I have forgotten to connect to the source. You just keep doing it all alone, using your own strength, using your own intelligence, using your own pride, the tiny ego of your individual self, even if you are connected to the strength of your community, your brothers and sisters, sometimes it's still not enough. Because the flow of your ancestors from millennia past, the flow of my grace from the dawn of creation is still there. It is still so powerful. The universe, the earth, I, your God, your ancestors, are still all around you. You just need to open all your senses. Be present in the current moment, completely, courageously. Set your ego down and realize I am not a separate body. You are existing together with my heavens and my earth, together with the universe, together with your ancestors, together with me, your God. As my son said, I am the vine, you are the branches. How can a branch bear fruit by itself? A branch, if it cuts itself off from the vine, has only one fate: to wither. Your ancestors and I, your God, have never abandoned you or excluded you. Only you have. You have forgotten. You have been arrogant, proud, or you have been too self-confident, or you have been too self-deprecating, guilty, that you did not dare to ask for help from those beings. From those who are always there for you, I am ready to give to you unconditionally. And in those moments, when you remember that, whether you are lying down or sitting or walking, you feel as if you are receiving hundreds of thousands of invisible hands reaching out to lift you up, to show you the way, and to protect you. Guiding and protecting. Those are two important keywords that you must always remember on this journey. Even knowing your own strength is so small, you can only do a few things, help a few people. But when you realize, oh no, I am not doing this alone. I am doing this with the heavens and the earth, with my ancestors. I am doing this with God. I am doing this with my companions, with my brothers and sisters who share the same aspiration. Then you feel so warm, so steadfast. Even though the difficulties are still there, the challenges are still there, but now you do not face them as a solitary body, a withered branch, trying to solve them. You know how to listen, you know how to open your heart, you know how to connect, you know how to wait for the right conditions. You know how to wait for my will. In this third practice, you, my child, can kneel down with hands in prayer. Then slowly lower yourself, bowing, placing your forehead gently on the mat or the rug. You can open your palms or keep them down and just be in deep stillness, perhaps for 3 full breaths. Or you can just lie there and visualize the connection between you and the earth, between you and your source. For example, through the breath, you see it clearly. If there is no breath, no this air, you cannot live. And this breath is certainly not yours. The food you eat is not yours. The water you drink is not yours. And this ground is not yours. The sunlight is not yours. All the things around you are not yours. So whose are they? They belong to the heavens and the earth. They belong to the great, vast source of life. They belong to me. They belong to your ancestors who worked so hard to preserve them. You only need to cast yourself upon the great earth. Let go of the frantic ego. Ask to learn the virtue of humility. Ask to learn the virtue of acceptance. There are times, if you feel you don't have enough strength to go on or to overcome the challenges you have chosen, then just rest. Pause for a few beats. That is an incredibly precious time for you to return, to find yourself, to be one with nature, to connect with your ancestors, to flow with the current, find oneself, be one with nature, connect with ancestors, flow with the current. In these last few days, you may have been thinking a lot about the idea of flowing with the current, or to speak in the language of faith, surrendering to my will. Because your ancestors, the saints, have successfully experienced this and have shown you the way. It's just that you haven't been able to hear, haven't been able to practice, because your ego is too big. You want to decide for yourself, but at some point, when the conditions are right, when you have fallen, painfully enough, You will realize only when you return to flow with nature, to flow with all the circumstances that are happening, knowing how to use the circumstances that arise and resisting less. As my son prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane, Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will. That is the ultimate surrender. The path to happiness is to learn to accept providence. Whatever has passed, don't try to hold on. Don't get stuck in it. Whatever has not yet come, don't worry about it. Don't waste a lot of energy thinking about it. Instead, focus on the circumstances in the present. Very specifically, you have taken time off work these past few days. You have stopped connecting with unnecessary things. You are at home. You are reuniting, gathering with family. Even more specifically, you are holding a cup of tea. Or you are in this sacred moment of New Year's Eve. You are turning toward heaven and earth, toward your ancestors. You are dwelling in your temple with all its graces, to connect with the purest, most powerful energy of the universe. And you are here completely. You feel so peaceful, so happy. You are content with this moment. You are living this moment fully. And in a little while, whatever is next, whatever happens, you will again receive it with your whole heart and find a way to use it for the best according to my will. That is called accepting providence or flowing with the current. You used to turn yourself into little streams, little rivers, floating aimlessly alone in this life. Like the story of the prodigal son, you used to forget that you belong to the great river of your parents, your grandparents, your bloodline ancestors, and above all, the great river of my grace. You used to be separate, so now, at least in this moment of transition, these sacred moments, you want to return to connect with your ancestors. You want to return to connect with me, your God. You know you are a part of this flow. You want to be received, to be embraced, to be protected, to be guided. You are not always clear-sighted enough. You are not always strong enough to protect yourself. There are times you must rely on external strength. Rely on the strength of your ancestors. Rely on my grace, the grace of heaven and earth. And you can only receive this great energy, not just through empty prayers, but through a complete return of your whole self. You must clean your temple. You must return to dwell in your temple. You must invite your own graces to arise with that inner resource. Only then can you hope to connect with the great resource of the universe, of your ancestors. You are opening your heart. You are kneeling. You are clasping your hands, turning toward the great, vast source of life, the pure, elite energy of the universe, my eternal grace. You know that in this moment, you are also pure and radiant because you are my image. You offer up this prayer for yourself and for your loved ones as you step into the new year. How? How can you arrange your work, your life, so that you can regularly return to care for your spiritual temple, to always be connected with your powerful graces, to separate from the worldly, angry, weak self, so you can walk in this life without fear, finding yourself in harmony with nature, and how, so that every day, at least every day, you can have half an hour or more to connect deeply with the loved ones who are present, and your family and your community, to connect deeply with your source. Wherever you work, wherever you interact, whomever you meet on this life's journey, may you be able to connect deeply. May you be able to offer them the joy, the peaceful energy, the good things you have received from your connection with me. My child, this is the meaning of life, right here. The challenge is how to always remember this, to practice more. But if in one day you can only do this for half an hour, for all three practices, you are already rich. As my son said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. It is like a treasure hidden in a field. When you find it, you joyfully protect it above all else. It is truly so. When you have sat down quietly, connected with yourself, connected with your loved ones, or when you bow down to connect with your grandparents, your ancestors, with heaven and earth, with me, you feel so full. You don't want anything more. You feel your heart is full of warmth, peace, and love overflowing. That means you are already rich. What else is there? Because when this energy scatters, you begin to feel hungry again, begin to hunt, and then all the money, power, and delicacies in this world can never fill your soul. You have truly realized this, my child. Connect with self, connect with loved ones, connect with the source, and flow with the current of my grace. This can be an important practice, a guiding compass for you in the new year. Connection, care, harmony, surrender. I wish this for you. And I also wish for you who are listening that you will do these things well and that you will walk on this wonderful journey. This journey is often walked in solitude, but it doesn't have to feel lonely. Which of these three connections to yourself, to your loved ones, or to me, your source, do you feel called to practice first? If you feel moved to share, your heart is open, and I am listening. Share your reflections or your own prayer for the new year in the stillness. You are, step by step, walking into the new year on feet that are truly peaceful, truly at ease, truly gentle. You are laying your heart down on this earth, your whole self, lovable, kind, and free. That is something you can do, and surely you can do it. May my peace be with you in this new year and always.